All right, hey, peace. Hello, hello, hello. What's going on? What's going on? I know I look tired. That's because I am. I'm very tired. I worked, I think I worked 2 weeks in a row. I might be wrong, but I feel like I worked 2 weeks in a row. And tomorrow is my first day off when this storm is going to hit. So I got off of work at like 5 o'clock today. Yes, got me some red wine. It's going to be a long night. I've been wanting to do this live for a minute, so I said this would be my only chance since you know, it's my only evening not working. So hey, what's going on, everybody? I know it's a Saturday night, but again, this is something that I've been wanting to talk about. I'm good with the little play on words when I do my lives. Ice storm, right? Yeah, we get in a crazy ice storm in Philly. It's really going to mostly be snow. Hey, girl, it's mostly going to be snow. And right now, it's around a foot in my area. Give or take, it might be a little bit more. But in the city, it's going to be about a foot. And it's going to start tonight and it's going to go all the way through Sunday. In the afternoon, it's going to turn into freezing rain, and it's going to be a mess. Hey, Kareem. All right. So, like I said, y'all, I know I'm a little bit tired. This is what I'm drinking tonight. You know, I always show. I got my red. My nails match with my wine. Um, yeah. So, huh? What's the real feel? What you talking about? You gonna be getting it. Kareem is in Brooklyn. He gonna be getting it, I'm sure. Shabo, you in Ohio. I know you're gonna be getting it too. So I did a lot of planning at work today. I'm only gonna go in tomorrow if they like call and they say they really need me, but I know that's not gonna happen. I really hope nobody calls me because I really want to rest. Yes, yes. So I really wanted to do this, right? Ice storm. We ain't talking about the storm. We talking about these fake cops out here. We talking about these fake cops, or are they fake cops? Okay. Um, you already spoken your Philly people. Oh, you on IG as well? I didn't know that. I'm not on none of that. I got Facebook, but I don't do nothing on there. I just went on there today for the first time, like in months since I created the account, just to get a little video that I need to show. Yeah, girl, that's what it is here too. Same thing. Yes. So I know that I like, joke around a lot and stuff like that, but listen, this ICE stuff has been very disturbing. And I live in a city that, depending, give or take, we toggle like on a majority Black city. And ICE has been here for like a year now. Major incidences with Black people, no, there have not been any major incidences. But as you saw, there was another shooting today, but it was crazy. I don't really care who you are. That shit was crazy. So my goal is and always has been how we going to protect ourselves as Black people. Hey, Joe, because to sit there, listen, I don't know if y'all remember. I thought about putting some clips together, or I might even do it like put a few shorts together. I did a live about a year ago talking about ICE, birthright citizenship, all the fun Trump stuff. When the plane happened, I was just putting all kinds of things from my head together on where I see this going, right? So this is kind of like a continuation on that. But we have to be prepared. And unfortunately, some of being prepared is understanding what ICE is and how we are supposed to deal with them, because there's a lot of misconceptions on who they are and how we're supposed to deal with them. I grew up in a city where, and I'm just going to be frank, it's not personal towards anybody that is in that field. Um, I do not have, I'm going to be kind here. I do not have a high level of respect for police. Um, this is not from nowhere. This did not come from the music I grew up listening to. This comes from the fact that I live in a city where I saw police brutality on multiple levels. And I'm sure I talked about it before. Okay. um Black people that don't have a problem with police, I say it all the time, that's great. I think it's because you grew up in a city or some place where you did not see police brutality. Where I am, I saw it all the time. I saw it amongst my family, happening to family members, and just, growing up in the neighborhood. And that's just what it is. And never going to have respect until things change. Are things ever going to change? No. Until the day comes where Black people in mass go and apply and take over. And I'm not talking about becoming cops in the country bumpkin cities. I'm talking about becoming cops in the community that you're from. Until that happens, things are never going to change. Hey, Erica. Hey, girl. So that's where I am with it. I am not one of those people that believe we just supposed to hate the cops and not think about doing anything. No, it's always, well, what is the end goal? The end goal is for more Black people to become cops. The problem is when Black people become cops, they forget that they're Black sometimes, and that's just a fact. I've seen it. Grew up with them, people that I went to school with that became cops, and then all of a sudden they were just different people. So I don't know the solution. I always say you got to go do it in mass. Is that ever going to happen? Probably not anytime soon, but it is what it is. So with that being said, um, I posed a question a few weeks ago on somebody else's panel, and it was a male dominated panel. Yes, they are going crazy. So sometimes when you pose a question, when you're in a male dominated space, and it's not personal, the first thing is they probably think, "Hey, little lady, you so cute," and they don't understand the question. If you get what I'm saying. So I made a statement after the thing that happened with Renee Good. Asked a question about how are we supposed to comply to these people, because I don't see them as police. I don't see them as cops, because I went over and did research on their training and how they get appointed and what their goals are. So in my mind, I'm thinking I don't have to comply with them. Now, granted, I'm not talking about if they pull a gun out, I'm going to sit there and try to fight them. But what I'm saying is, if somebody approaches my vehicle and I know that I'm an American citizen, many hundreds of generations American citizen, Black American citizen, I'm not going to be willing to just comply. You get what I'm saying? So I posed that question, and I think that it was missed. It didn't mean that I don't understand that we're supposed to comply. It means I don't think any of us fully understand what our rights are and what this group of people have been given carte blanche to do, and who they are. Who they are. You know what I'm saying? So I want to do a little bit of study here, just a little bit of class that I haven't done in a while. Like I said, it's been like a year since I did a live like this. But yeah, let's start with the basics, right? I want to introduce something that most of us may know, but guess what? We're going to act like none of us know. Okay. This is a quick little lesson for all of us, because my goal always is, how do we handle things amongst our community? And if we sit here and say this is happening to white people and it's not our problem, that's one thing. You want to say that, but to not prepare for what may happen if it comes to your doorstep, that's a problem that we have as well in our community. That is a problem. We wait until it's too late. And I'm not trying to wait until it's too late. I've been doing everything I can to get prepared, not just for ICE, but for anything that may come, because times are crazy right now. Okay, so before I share this first slide, as everybody knows, I'm not going to show the clips or anything. I'm sure you've been bombarded with it just like I was. another shooting, fatal shooting in Minneapolis. It was a white man. He was a registered nurse, I believe, some type of nurse he was. His family released his name, photos, and his occupation. Um, the man was on his knees, back turned to the person that shot him, and just point blank shot the man. I think it was 5 times. When you look at the video, what you see is it just looked ridiculous. Like these are supposed to be trained people, just a bunch of out of shape, out of breath, goofy, stumbling fucking animals, if you ask me, just tussling all around. In my opinion, what I think I saw possibly was one of them take a firearm off of this man. Can't really tell if it was the ICE agent's firearm or if he took the firearm. Either way, if it was this man's firearm and he took it, the point is he took it, jumped out of the way, and then they still shot that man. Listen, I had to preface this by saying I don't fuck with the police, but I will tell you that is a lot less likely to happen with trained police. Don't take what I'm saying the wrong way. I am not saying that police don't kill us at a unreasonable rate, but what I'm saying is once we delve into the training and the type of people these are that we're dealing with, it's going to make sense that this is going to continue to happen. And if you don't think when they start flooding our communities, it's going to be tenfold because of how they fear us, you're fucking crazy. Okay. So unfortunately, the word of the day might be comply, just might be, because we got to save our own lives right about now. But at the same time, we need to know who these people are and when we're supposed to comply. All right. I'm playing games here, y'all. I love these glasses, but these glasses are good for a certain thing. And then these are the ones that I need to read until I get some new readers. I've been working like crazy, so I know I look crazy in these. All right. So who cares, right? So let me just read some comments real quick. Oh, you want everything? Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they snatched that thing right up. They snatched all those monuments right up. Um, you know, y'all president. That's y'all president. He was in a couple of rap songs in the 90s, so he y'all homie, right? He's one of us. He's showing how how much one of us he is, right? Anyway. You off with pay tomorrow, Joe? Yes. Yeah, I mean, we typically, Kareem, we from the East Coast. We don't have, and that's what we call them. We don't have respect for them because we've seen it. And it has been an extremely high level of cop respect from Black people in these YouTube spaces. When I tell you, it's been unreal. And I'm like, where they from? Oh, okay, they from the Midwest. No offense, Shavo. They from the Midwest. They from like somewhere close to the West Coast. They might be from the South where cops is their neighbors. You know, they take apple pie to each other every day. Fine, you know. But over here, we've seen it enough where we don't have respect. Until things vastly change, it's always going to be fuck the police. Sorry, that's just what it is because they don't give a fuck about us. So it is what it is. One of your sons is a cop. Sorry. I mean, listen, we all have some type of law enforcement in our family, and I'm not saying all cops are bad. I'm just saying most of them are bad. Sorry. It's not personal. I haven't met many good cops in my lifetime, and I'm a seasoned woman at this point. Um, yes, they're federally deputized. Correct. Oh, thank you, Joe. Was he part of the George Floyd? Girl, that don't mean shit. You know that don't mean nothing. Cause he a whole white boy. They don't care. And again, for me, that's tragic. That's sick. But to say tragic, sick, we're gonna stop there. That's the part where it gets kind of crazy for me. We need to figure out what's gonna happen if and when this becomes a crazy thing in our community. Okay. So we're gonna go back to basics, y'all. We're gonna start with the boring stuff, okay? And then I got a few little clips to show. All right, so here we have it. All right. This is for those that maybe don't understand. We just did a quick little Google search about what is ICE, how did they start, and how do we comply with them, which is so hard to say. It's so hard to say. But ICE, or the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is a federal law enforcement agency under the Department of Homeland Security. It was formed on March 1st, 2003, as part of a reorganization in the federal government after 9/11. Of course, we all remember that, all of us that were alive around then. Um, ICE was created to carry out functions of the former U.S. Customs Service and the Nationalization Service. The agency's primary role is to enforce federal laws governing border control. Listen to this: federal laws governing border control, customs, trade, and immigration. This is their primary role. Okay? ICE's mission is to preserve American security and public safety. That's where it gets gray, right? That's where it gets foggy within the U.S. Borders by enforcing immigration laws. This involves detaining, deporting, and convicting unauthorized immigrants. ICE operates with a staff of over 20,000 across 400 global offices and an annual budget of, get this, $8 billion. Okay. And that has ramped up significantly to that number since Trump's second term. Okay. The agency's operations are divided into several directorates, including Homeland Security Investigation, Enforcement and Removal Operations, and the Office of the Principal Legal Advisor. Individuals and organizations can comply with ICE by understanding the legal authority they have and knowing the rights they have during ICE encounters. This includes knowing what ICE can and cannot legally do, such as, pay attention because we're going to get some conflicting information, what they can and cannot legally do, such as entering homes and private spaces. It is also important to be aware of the constitutional restrictions that ICE agents face and to understand the difference between ICE and Border Patrol. Okay? So that was just a basic 101. ICE came into play. There were other agencies that were earlier versions of ICE, but ICE itself was formed after 9/11. Okay? And since then, it has grown ridiculously large, especially recently since Trump's second term, as I said. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead to our next one, right? These are two clips that I just put together, and forgive me because I don't know what's going on with this laptop. It's ads galore when I bring up websites and it be looking crazy. So I just had to take a few clips here. All right. So we have a source at the top here, BBC. What powers do ICE agents have to arrest people? ICE sees its mission as encompassing both public safety and national security. So just watch how the language slowly changes. However, its powers are different to those of the average local police department in the US. Its agents can stop, detain, and arrest people they suspect of being in the US illegally. However, legal permission to enter a home or other private space requires a signed judicial warrant. I'm going to read that one more time. This source from the BBC is claiming that legal permission is needed to enter a home or other private space. You need a signed judicial warrant. It says agents can detain U.S. citizens in limited circumstances, such as if a person interferes with an arrest, that's subjective. Assaults an officer, that's subjective when you're talking about these people, and wait till we get to who these people are. Or ICE suspects a person of being in the US illegally. That's hella suggestive. You could just go on TikTok and see you black, they're going to pull you over. And then all the white people come running up with their cameras. Why are you pulling them over? And it's like, because he black, they don't can't even tell what they are. So, all these problems can be legally created. All this subjective language here says that they basically could, mess with whoever they want. Despite this, according to news organizations, there were more than 170 incidences during the first 9 months of Trump's presidency in which federal agents held U.S. citizens against their will. These cases included Americans they had suspected of being undocumented immigrants. Okay, then I got a little source here from All About Lawyer. There are several websites, law sites that are like talking because I'm sure a lot of people have questions. Of course, and this is just me being frank, since Renee Good's shooting, white people have been, protesting more, calling their local law offices, calling their local politicians, and they're in droves trying to figure out what their rights are. So it's not coming from me. When you do simple Google searches, it shows since the shooting, there's been an insurgence of these questions coming out. So we know who it is that's demanding these answers. Now the certain law websites are telling us little tidbits, which we couldn't get months ago. All right. So it says, yes, ICE is law enforcement, but their authority has limits you need to know. It says, yes, ICE is classified as a federal law enforcement agency under the Department of Homeland Security with authority to arrest, detain, and investigate immigration violations. However, ICE agents do not have unlimited power. They face significant constitutional restrictions that many people don't realize, especially when it comes to entering homes and private spaces. Okay, it says that again. All right. So we're going to get rid of that one. And I just thought this was a little interesting tidbit before I get into something else. Hold on, let me turn my phone down because I'm going to get messages when they come in. I don't want y'all to keep hearing it. Okay, so here's a little clip that I just want to show, a little screenshot of y'all Vice President J.D. Vance. If you recall, this man recently made statements that the ICE agents that shot Renee Good have absolute immunity as far as criminal charges. Now, remember, his daddy, his boss in chief, ran on giving total immunity to cops. Fuck ICE. They wanted to give total immunity to cops. Okay. And so many people still went live on YouTube talking about Kamala not black and she playing in our face and we need to vote with Trump. And these are people that cops literally see as bullet bags. And you sat there and encouraged people to vote for this man. Okay. So we just going to leave it at that. All right, so this says Vice President J.D. Vance backtracked from his earlier remarks that the ICE agent who killed Renee Good has absolute immunity from criminal charges. And then this is what this lying little girl said. He said, I didn't say I don't think anyone in the Trump administration said that officers who engage in wrongdoing would enjoy immunity. That's absurd. What a fucking liar. What I did say is that when federal law enforcement officers violate the law, that's typically something federal officials would look into. We don't want these guys to have kangaroo courts, Vance said on Thursday during his visit to Minneapolis. So what he basically did was lie. He made the statement. A couple people probably got in his ear and said, you can't say that because, a white woman was killed and we don't want to get, other white people more angry. So, of course, he had to backtrack from what he said. But remember, those views are not new views. These are the same views that came from his president. Okay, so taking those words back don't mean a damn thing to me. All right. So I'm going to share something. I really want people to see a comparison of those that tell me. Let me tell you where this is coming from before I show this comparison. A lot of people in these YouTube spaces have been telling me that ICE are the police. And yes, people like J.D. Vance gave them this pseudo behind the scenes federal immunity, so they can probably do more than our local police. They actually can, because the local police have, they can't do anything outside of their jurisdiction. These people have carte blanche to do whatever. And if you remember, some of the things I read were very contradictory. Some things say that they can't enter the home, but then there's other language that says if they have reasonable suspicion, they can do whatever they want. So why are we even playing these games and saying that they need warrants to be able to enter the home? Okay. So yes, do they have the freedom to do what they want? I've come to terms with it. It took me a minute to accept it, but we see what's happening. So the answer is yes. But what I want people to understand is how these people are trained and who they are. And we're going to compare them to the police, okay? Some of us can even acknowledge it's a psychological issue with these cops. A lot of these cops, and I'm not talking about ICE, a lot of these cops are in communities where they hate and fear us, so they don't police them the same way they would their own communities. That doesn't mean that they did not get the proper physical training for how and when you're supposed to do certain things because they know better. They just don't express those teachings and those trainings when it comes to being in certain communities. Okay, so I am going to share this comparison that I looked up. Hey, Shane, peace. 2028 if Vance versus AOC happens, I'm not a runner, so I'm not leaving America. Okay, my ancestors built this country. I ain't going no damn where. I'm gonna stay here and keep fighting. Okay, my family is here. But that would be kind of crazy. That would be kind of crazy. I actually would laugh if AOC win something, which I know she wouldn't. But I just would love to see a funny ass slap in the face. Like I'm always the anti what does racist white people like vote. So I don't care if Kamala was black or not. She was the anti-racist white people vote. So it made sense to me. It's all about a slap in the face to people that don't like us. So no brainer here. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. Okay, here we go. All right, we're going to do this one right here, y'all. If any weird ads pop up, forgive me. I don't have no control over these weird ads that have been popping up. But I typed in ICE training compared to police. So this is just a co-pilot search, but I have searched many other websites. I can bring them up that do verify that ICE training was intended to be 16 weeks, which is still ridiculous when you compare that to what the regular local police do. But because Trump is so interested in quadrupling the numbers, ramping up the numbers as much as possible. The training has gotten much shorter. It cut out things. They claim it cut out things like learning to speak Spanish and shit like that. You're lying. You wasn't teaching them no Spanish for 8 weeks. You cut it in half because you really don't give a fuck. You just want these hateful people out on the streets. Wait till you see some of this training. Now think about what those out of shape inbred weirdos look like. Remember when that dude on the bike, remember the delivery guy on the bike of all vehicles on a bicycle, not motorized, okay? His feet, okay, pedal bike in Chicago was on foot with a bike juking the hell out of like 5 agents, and they were so out of shape they couldn't catch him. So they want us to believe that these people have gone through this rigorous training. Okay, so let's get into this. It says ICE training focuses on immigration enforcement and includes rigorous physical fitness standards, sure, while police training encompasses broader law enforcement duties with varying use of force policies and community engagement practices. Training and duration structure. ICE training. New recruits for ICE undergo training at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, which lasts about 8 weeks, y'all. So these people that have federal jurisdiction, and then if we use JD Vance's words, immunity, total immunity, which we know that's what they have because they literally doing whatever the hell they want with no consequences. These people are being trained in 8 weeks. Okay. Now think about it. These people are policing, with the cops, you probably may police people a city over. Maybe you live in New Jersey and you're policing people in Philly. Not to say that's acceptable, but they at least have somewhat of an understanding of their area, their surroundings. These people could be coming from anywhere. The hills have eyes, for all I know, the Appalachians, and they're up in my city trying to police the city. So they're in this foreign place around a bunch of people they hate because that's why they signed up for bonuses because they're broke. They have nothing going on in their life. And they're getting trained in 8 weeks, and they have immunity to detain you, to arrest you, and now we know to kill you. So, yeah, they're the police, but let's compare. This training includes physical fitness, legal education. Listen to this, 8 weeks. Physical fitness, legal education, practical skills necessary for immigration enforcement. However, here comes the truth. There have been reports of training duration being reduced in recent years, raising concerns about the adequacy of preparation for new recruits. Yes, it used to be 16 weeks, which is still not acceptable when you look at the amount of time that our local police are trained. And this is not praise for the local police. This is just a comparison because y'all telling me these are the police. Y'all telling me I'm supposed to respect them and comply as I am with the police. Yeah, I probably have no choice now because they have immunity to kill me if they want to. But police, let's see. Okay, police training. This is what the police training is in a quick summary. Police training duration varies significantly by department and state. True, but typically it does range from 6 months to a year. Some places are longer than a year. Okay, training includes a comprehensive curriculum covering law enforcement techniques, community policing, and legal standards. Police academies often emphasize community engagement and de escalation tactics as part of their training. Now, I remember visiting ICE's website, and I don't have that here, but anybody can go. You probably want to go because it's really hilarious the way they talk about them like they're basically superheroes. And they're very secretive with what type of training it is. You have to do these type of Google searches to get this vague idea of what the training is. So basically, there was a time where they would teach them basic Spanish. They teach them driving in crazy situations like the police. And then, of course, they teach them firearms and they claim that there's some form of physical fitness. Now, at one point, it was 16 weeks. They're now doing this in 8 weeks. Did you cut out the de escalation part? My guess is that's what you cut out. My guess is you cut out teaching these hillbillies how to engage with people properly and how to de escalate. Because the number one thing they should be trained on is that you're not going to be accepted in these communities. That's the number one thing. That's the number one thing they should be told. You know, anybody that works in customer service, period, you're told how to handle disgruntled customers. You know, there are disasters about to happen here. You know, I'm in the energy field, I'm in the electric field. People get mad as fuck when they lose electricity for days. Oh, yeah, they're going to call in. I don't answer phones for customers, but I've been there, done that 20 years ago. They have called me every name in the book when their power is off in freezing weather for a day. So, yes, am I allowed to cuss them out back? No, no. I'm trained on how to de escalate, how to show empathy, how to understand. These people obviously got that part cut out. There's no way that they're being trained to be able to de escalate. All right, so we're going to get into each bullet point. Here's the physical fitness standards for ICE. ICE agents must pass a physical fitness test that includes events like sit ups, push ups, a sprint, and a 1.5 mile run. That's not a lot, but I bet you they don't do that. After I saw the way they couldn't catch a dude on foot pushing a bike, there's no way. The test is designed to ensure agents possess a balanced capacity across strength, endurance, and anaerobic power. Recent reports indicate that failure rates among ICE recruits have raised concerns about recruitment and operational readiness. You think? And here's the thing, y'all could say that. I don't believe you. I don't believe you're failing people. You fast track this because you want more of those weirdos out on the street. The way we see them conducting themselves, I do not buy that they are flunking out. I believe you're passing them all. That's what I believe. Now we're going to compare that to the police fitness standards. Police agencies also have physical fitness requirements, but these vary widely. Many departments use a combination of running strength exercises, an agility test, often allowing for composite scoring rather than all or nothing approach like ICE. That's how you know they're not really putting these ICE agents through the ringer. All or nothing, give us the percentage of the nothings. There's no nothings. You're passing everybody. You're passing every beer belly, two teeth in his mouth weirdo that shows up because they just want to be happy go lucky and go harass people in the neighborhoods. That's all this is. Okay. We're going to go to the use of force policies. The ICE use of force guidelines. ICE agents operate under the Department of Homeland Security's use of force policies, which require that any force used must be necessary and reasonable. Right. ICE emphasizes de-escalation techniques. They don't emphasize it. They don't emphasize it. There's no way. If 10 of y'all are tussling around with a male nurse, a clear male nurse, a clear hippie, I didn't shave in a long time, I weigh 110 pounds soaking wet, male nurse, then no, you're not trained in de-escalation. There's no physical fitness. There's nothing. And like I said, I stand on it. If that gun belonged to that citizen, it was out of his hands before you opened fire on him. So that does not excuse it. That does not excuse it. Once again, poor training. Okay, emphasizes de-escalation techniques and has specific protocols for engaging with individuals during enforcement actions. Let's compare this to the police. Local police departments are governed by state laws and their own policies regarding the use of force. While they are bound by constitutional standards, the specifics of use of force policies can differ significantly from one department to another, often influenced by community standards and oversight mechanisms. Okay, now we're going to get into operational focus. ICE's mission, right? ICE primarily focuses on immigration enforcement, targeting individuals who pose risk to national security or public safety. I don't know. Don't seem to me like y'all stopping there. Their operations often involve locating, arresting, and removing individuals who violate immigration laws. And for the record, I'll take a sip. For the record, I'm 100% for illegal immigrants having to go through the proper channels. I'm 100% for that. Okay, but this ain't that. What they're doing, no. All right, now we'll compare this to police mission. Police departments handle a broader range of law enforcement duties, including crime prevention, community safety, and public order maintenance. Listen, they say that it's broader. How many clips have you seen of ICE doing basic traffic stops when they're not even committing any laws, violating any laws? They're just pulling people over for being black while driving. Look it up. They're just pulling them over. I can show some. So are they the police? This says that the police, the local police, have a broader range of law enforcement. We're seeing ICE agents do traffic stops when there's no reason to. But anyway, their interactions with the community are typically more diverse, encompassing various social issues beyond immigration. In summary, while both ICE and police forces share some foundational training elements, the focus, training duration, physical fitness standards, and use of force policies differ significantly, reflecting their distinct operational mandates and community roles. So all these men like to tell little angel, little stupid, let me tell you, little angel, they are the police. This is saying there is a distinct, significant difference in the way that they're trained. So how am I supposed to treat them like the police? I have no choice but to treat them like the police, or I might get shot. But look at this. Look at what they're telling me are police. All right. I'm going to stop sharing that. Get rid of that one. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to share a few more things. You lying, Joe. Well, Proud Boys are becoming ICE agents. You damn right about that. You know the Proud Boys and the what's those other weirdos? I can't remember their names, but those January 11th, I'm sorry, January 6th people, yeah, you know that they're the ones becoming these ICE agents, no doubt, no doubt. Exactly. Isn't that a crazy number? You know what? That fool probably cut it down to 47 days because he's a damn narcissist. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to show some videos. I'm definitely going to show some videos. Um, Sometimes this is what I do, y'all. I transition over to my phone. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about how we got, some of us in our community, our spaces, our circle, our fellow Black people talking about they could tell the difference if it's a immigrant. They know you FBA, they know you Black. They know that they're not going to bother you, right? This is only for the immigrants. They could tell. They're in those 8 weeks they were trained to know who's who, right? So we're going to go ahead and show this, right? Y'all tell me what this is all about. Here we go. Today. Shit, I don't like this. This got me too nervous. I don't know what the hell's going on. Just go, chill out. Please, we do not need all that. Bro, listen. No, Illinois. Man, you say ain't no foreigners up in here. We ain't Mexican, African, none of that shit. I'm American. I know, so why would y'all have to pull me over? You see what? Right. What's going on? And who's this cowboy? I love her. What's going on? Y'all don't get back in your motherfucking car. That's fucking ridiculous. I know y'all know y'all ran my place. That's fucking crazy. These motherfuckers ran my place. They really came and tried to say that's right. These motherfuckers is crazy. This shit crazy. Yeah, and they came deep. Wow. I'm like, Miss Patricia, please don't fuck me, man. Man, I told that mother, you better get the fuck out my face, nigga. I ain't giving you shit. Man, motherfucking target vehicle, bitch. You knew that. No, but you too nervous. That's one example, y'all. That's one example. You see what I'm saying? That's one example. They don't bother us, right? Even when they approach, and you can clearly tell these are Black American people just from their accent. You can clearly tell. You continue, right? You continued on. So sometimes it can look like that, right? Sometimes what they're doing may present that way. And, some of these people in our circles may say, that's no big deal, just comply, right? That's what it may look like sometimes. And other times, it may look like this. So I'm going to go ahead and share. Let's go. Sometimes it may look like this. You heard people talk about Keith Porter. They talked about Keith Porter, but did anybody actually look up what happened with Keith Porter? So Keith Porter is a gentleman that New Year's Eve, you know how it goes. All of us, especially people that have grown up in the city. I don't know what happens outside of the city, but in the city, yes, people will fire their guns in the air to celebrate New Year's. It's something that has always been done. So that's what this gentleman did. And he was killed by an off-duty ICE agent. Did not get a lot of news play because we can't even say because people cared about Renee Good more because this happened before then. It didn't get a lot of news play at all. All right. So listen to this language, and you can compare it to what the language has been when ICE commits these crimes across the board. So for those of you that don't know, Keith Porter, 43 years old, he was fatally shot by an off-duty ICE agent. His mother is calling for justice and accountability following his killing on New Year's Eve. Porter was shot and killed at roughly 10:30 p.m. on December 31st at his Northridge apartment complex. According to the Los Angeles Police Department, Porter was firing celebratory shots into the air with an AR-15 style rifle when an off-duty ICE agent who lived in the complex heard the gunfire and confronted him. Authorities haven't detailed what happened next or what prompted the agent to open fire. Porter died on the scene. Well, listen to what they had to say. The Department of Homeland Security said the agent, quote, bravely responded to an active shooter situation and exchanged gunfire with Porter. No criminal charges have been filed against the agent. Family members and community leaders strongly dispute that Porter posed a threat. He was a great Black man. He was a girl dad, Porter's cousin said during Los Angeles City Council meeting on Friday, January 9th. Porter's mother described her son as a kind and loving father. He didn't deserve this. He didn't even get to pop the champagne. He didn't get to say goodbye. His life was snatched from us. Joseph Williams of Black Lives Matter. Los Angeles also criticized the lack of accountability. The fact that Keith Porter's murderer was not arrested and was allowed to give up his service weapon that night is unacceptable. So did you hear that language? What they said is this person, just like he was a big old hero, and it was a face off. They're saying that this was an active shooter, nobody around, nothing going on, actively trying to kill God. I guess he's shooting up in the air, like this man was trying to murder God, and this brave ICE agent came along and had a shootout with this man and bravely killed this man. This is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. So I'm so mad at myself. I had one more thing to share. You can look this up because apparently I didn't save it, of course, because I've been sipping tonight and I'm tired. But I looked into this ICE agent. And if you look it up, just look up the off-duty ICE agent that murdered Keith Porter, what the neighbors are saying about this man. So there's research being done from the family's lawyers, and what they're finding is this agent has been known to abuse his child and call out racial slurs on a regular basis. So, what type of people are becoming ICE agents? Child beating, racist. I mean, is it any surprise? Is it any surprise? No, there's no surprise. So, that was a short little lesson. I'm sure that we all know. We all know. You know what I mean? I'm not telling us anything that we don't already know, but um, I felt that I had to say something because the fact of the matter is, I'm being told, and I've been told that these are the police, and I'm supposed to respect them like the police. And okay, that I mean, if it's to save our lives and we have to comply, if they do a basic traffic stop, my first instinct is going to be, who the fuck are you? Like, now I have to think differently about that because these people have federal immunity to literally murder us. That's where we are right now. And if we think it's going to stop with white people in Minnesota, let's just wait. Let's just wait. Okay. Yeah, no video, I bet. In this day and age, no video, but it is what it is. I believe they are going through extreme measures to cover up the things that these people are doing because all we have to do is compare it to the ones that we've seen. When we saw what happened to Renee Good, there wasn't even a word about an investigation, and they all came out and said nothing to see here. It was justified. So they're doing everything it's just all crazy. But we're being told from some of our own, we have to accept crazy. This is what we have to accept. So y'all win. I accept. But what I won't do is sit here and pretend that these people are not disgruntled, racist, hateful, broke, because you get incentives to become these ICE agents. Broke people, Proud Boys, those type of people, super Trump supporters, people that are so far removed from our community. That's who they are. And what they've done is they have In 8 weeks. Hey, Zion. Hey, sis. It's been a long time. In 8 weeks, they have given these people the right to detain, arrest, and murder us with immunity. So let's just remember that. Like I said, ICE has been in my city, Philadelphia, for over a year now. They pretty much got here as soon as Trump got elected. So it is what it is. They're here. Have I had any run-ins with them? No, no, because I mind my business. I'm not really out and about like that. Do I drive through the city? Yes. Have I seen ICE? No, no, nothing major going on in Philly. We have seen some cases of major harassment, if you ask me, going on in places like Chicago. Um, some people don't think that's major. I do. I do. A Black American citizen minding their business and getting thrown up against a wall and having to yell out that they're a citizen to be let go of is major. And I don't like hearing us say things like, well, you should have just complied. They didn't do nothing. Okay, so we're going to excuse that. Let's see how far they continue to go. Oh, thank you, sis. Yes. Yeah. I mean, sounds good, Kareem. I'm losing faith. The love part, yes, that's always going to be there. But I've heard some disparaging stuff. I've heard. You know that's who joined. You know it was the January 6th people. These are the people that went in there shitting on desks. These are animals, y'all. Remember, I was watching it live. I'll never forget. I was out of town. Storms going on. I was out of town doing my feeder spot thing. It was devastation going on, and I'm in a hotel watching it live. Watching it live. And when you hear people talk about it today, they talk about it like they just completely revamped the story on how it happened. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm Kareem, we here. I just been hearing a lot of stuff, a lot of disparaging things. And yeah, the difference is we just know that they're not trained properly, but being allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, yeah, that's what we're starting to see now. And we gotta just, you know, stay with it, keep your head on a swivel, be prepared. Um, listen, if something were to happen today and ICE came and kicked my door, and that would probably be the day I would die because I'm going to open fire. I'm going to open fire. You're not going to come into my home because you suspect I'm an illegal immigrant. It's just not going to happen. If they pull me over, yes, before about a week ago, when or a little more, 2 weeks ago, maybe when I first started doing the research on who they are, how they train, what rights they're able to violate, I wouldn't have let them. I would have been like, "Fuck you." I'm not pulling my window down. I'm not doing nothing. Call a real cop. But now, from what I see, from what I'm being told, we got to treat them like real cops. Yes, I agree. So, y'all, that's really all I wanted to do. And I'm at almost an hour. You know, I'm good for my 1 hour streams. Uh, I'm going to probably lay down and watch something on TV until I fall asleep tonight. Sunday is my only day off. I just want to relax and look at the snow outside. I got everything I need. I'm sure everybody else is prepared. Stay warm and stay safe. Do not try to go outside unless you have to, especially if you're on like the southern part of the country. And I believe a little bit west of us, you're getting like some serious ice. So, try not to go outside. Over here, it's going to be crazy because it's going to be so much snow. Then it's going to be freezing rain. So you know what that means. So let me put on my nerdy electric engineer hat. I work with the distribution system. The snow is not going to take the power lines down. It's just going to be fluffy little lines of snow standing on the power lines. But when the freezing rain hits the snow is going to become very heavy and power lines are going to start to snap. Trees that have been getting inundated with water over the last year or so, they are becoming weaker and weaker. This heavy snow is going to cause limbs to come down on power lines. So, may not experience power lines early Sunday. By the evening, you're going to start experiencing outages, especially if everything is aerial in your neighborhood. So be prepared. Get those cell phones charged before the possibility of you losing your power. Okay. And there's some little tricks that you can do. The little tea candles can cook. Okay. You can heat up little things like eggs or oodles and noodles. Look it up. You can use the little tea candles to cook your food. Okay. And make sure you have a blanket, you know, just in case. Thanks, Zion. How you been, girl? It's been a long time. I don't know if I ever got to thank you um, for your kind words back in July. I saw what you did, and I thank you so much, sis. I hope all is well. You're so beautiful, and I hope everything is going well with real estate. I don't think you've been live in a while because I'm subbed, and I love to be in your chat when you go live. So if you have been, I have not been getting notifications. But thank you so much for your kind words. Girl, just so you know, I'm good too. I am good. I didn't think I would be, but I am so good when I tell you. You don't got a sled. You know good and well we could make a sled out of anything. Yeah, you in New Jersey too. Yes. Kareem, I know you about your business. I saw you working out that day. I'll be in your clouds sometimes, Kareem. I saw you getting it in. Like, keep pushing these young men out here. I love what you do. I love your classroom. I love the inspiration that you give to, especially like Black men. I love it. It's amazing. Yes. Hmm. Thank you so much. Yes. Have a good night, Joe. All right, y'all. Oh, it has been a minute. Okay, understood. Well, hopefully I get to see you soon. I really enjoy your lives. So all right, y'all, let me get my old sleepy looking, crazy looking self out of here. I gotta wash this hair too. Whew, my hair dirty. It's been a couple days. But let me go ahead and get out of here, y'all. Um, Next time I'm off, I'm gonna go live. The next time I go live, I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to be angry angel because you know I'm always toggling between angry angel. Remember, we had an argument, Kareem. We had a small argument about the what is it, the app, and I was talking about my business that I opened. I'm trying to be less like that now. Good night, sis. Oh, you're gonna start your live? Okay. I hear you. All right, I'll be over there listening in the clouds. All right, y'all. Everybody have a good night. I'll be back up here soon. Peace, y'all. Stay warm, stay safe.